And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Antwood Movie Mania. And we are live because it is interview time. Now, my special guest has cemented herself into the Halloween legacy. So I would like to welcome to the channel to Antwood Movie Mania, Michele Dawson.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on, because it means a lot to me when everyone just comes on here just to try and shoot the breeze with me or talk about their career. It means so much to me that you're just taking your time out of your day just to talk to someone like me. So a big thank you for that.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
Right. First off, how has your day been? Because I know the time difference is crazy, so it's early in the morning here, and I know it's late at night there. So how has your day been?
It's been good. Very productive. I felt like I got some things done today. I saw some friends briefly here and there today. Got a little exercise in. I actually felt like I was a little behind on my steps, so I just went out with my neighbor and their dog and went around the block, get a little more steps in for the day. But it's been good. Yeah.
Oh, good. Right, before we get into the acting side of things, I've been seeing some of your posts, not in a stalkerish way, but I just want to touch on you being into acrobatics, because you look like you're heavily into that.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it? And is it hard to do, because some of them poses look really tough?
It's so funny that you bring it up. Actually, earlier today I was speaking with a magazine article about Acro Yoga, and so it was really fun getting to chat about it. But yes, I have been doing partnered acrobatics for about 6 years now. For me, I've always been a very active physical person. I mean, even when I was under 2 years old, I was climbing on rocking chairs and climbing in kitchen cabinets. I've just always been someone who really enjoys physical activities. I love training and, just working out. And I like setting goals with physical things and achieving. And so for me, when I was a kid, I got into gymnastics, and I did gymnastics for 10 years from 8 to 18. And that kind of set the foundation, I guess, for just body awareness. And it's crazy because then when I picked up Acro Yoga, and then after Acro Yoga, more of partnered acrobatics, my body just remembered so much about flipping and twisting and all of that. It's really funny how muscle memory works. And so I kind of became obsessed with it and started training as much as I could. I felt like any moment I wasn't, working at something, any free time I had, I was wanting to, practice and get better. And and so it's just been so fun for me because it's the type of activity that when you're doing it, it's really the only thing you can think about, because you're so focused on, trying to make sure that, you're in the right alignment and trying to get the correct pose and, positioning of stacking of the bones and all those sort of things, or whether I'm getting ready to throw a flip or something like that. You have to be so present that you are able to kind of let go of everything else. So it's like if I've been, at home filming auditions, all day, and, and then editing them and uploading them and doing that whole thing, which sometimes is very time consuming, I can then go to the gym or go outside to a park and meet up with acro people and do acrobatics, and you're so present with it that you kind of just forget the rest of the day that happened, which has just been such a blessing, because then you're able to let go of it, which just feels so much better. So it kind of took over my my Instagram there for a while. And honestly, just because I think there's something about partnered acrobatics when we're doing it, and probably similar for a lot of sports, that we film ourselves. So we're filming ourselves already because we want to watch the playback, to see how it looks and if it looks the way we think it looks. Like, oh, did I actually bend my legs there? Or, oh, maybe I need to do whatever physical tweak you need to do to make it better. And so, or make it work if something's not working. And so we already film film the content and film ourselves, and then it's just so easy to just want to put it up there and be like, look at this cool thing I did, because then you're so proud of yourself, and that's another thing I love about it, is that sometimes, especially as an actor, it just feels like there's very few things within our control, because getting things made, or booking a role, there's not much you can do sometimes to get picked. You can do your best, you can even be the best actor or have the best audition, but it doesn't mean they're going to pick you for the role. And so anyway, it's really nice having a hobby, an activity that I can kind of lean on, and feel like, hey, the work that I put into this, I get to see immediate results. So it's very rewarding in that way.
Oh, amazing. Um, right now, I've seen some posts that you were in Jordan at the Treasury Mausoleum. I've only seen it in pictures or in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is my
Yes.
favorite Indiana Jones film out the lot. Is it amazing to look at real life?
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just the size of Petra. I actually ended up going in sort of a back way when I went and spent the day there. I'd gone there the night before for sort of like a light show that they do on the Treasury. They kind of have like a flute playing and a little bit of a light show against the Treasury, and it's beautiful. And I'd gone for that during the evening, and then the next day, the way that I came in was through the back of Petra, and so I saw a whole other side of it, and I didn't realize how vast it is. I mean, it is massive. I must have been there for at least 8 hours walking around that day, and I
Oh,
maybe saw half of it, maybe. And by saw half of it, I mean like part of it I was even riding a mule. So it's huge. It's huge. But yeah, it's just stunning. It's stunning to look at, and it's absolutely incredible. I mean, it's I believe they still call it a one of the wonders of the world, and just the way that it's kind of built down. And
yeah.
I was able to kind of go up directly across from the Treasury and look at it from above, and it's yeah. I mean, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything like it in the world. It's a really special place.
Oh wow. I know.
Yeah,
I'd love to visit there. Like it's just something that I think that you just have to see. Like,
yeah. I highly recommend it. And then if you ever do make your way over there, make sure you check out like the desert Wadi Rum. Um, I spent maybe like two or 3 days there, kind of glamping, which was a wonderful experience, and took like a Jeep tour through the desert. But that's where they filmed a lot of like, I think they filmed Lawrence of Arabia there, and they filmed, I want to say, probably more Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and just tons of classic movies. So, I mean, when you're there, you're just kind of like, oh yeah, this looks so familiar. But yeah, it's incredible.
oh wow. So apart from doing acrobatics, like at what age did you want to start acting?
Well, I mean, I probably wanted to start acting when I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7. But I honestly, I was a shy kid. I'm an only child, and I think I just spent more time with adults. And yeah, I was pretty shy. My parents, if I remember correctly, I did well in like kindergarten or something and got some sort of little scholarship thing to take a class, like a performing class at a college on Saturday mornings. And I remember going to that. And I remember there was, people much older than me. There was a very wide range, age-wise, of people. And I remember going to that and really enjoying it, but also just kind of being a little terrified with my shyness. And so I never pursued it, and my parents really never pursued anything beyond that. And then I really dove into the gymnastics world, and you just don't really have time for both because I was doing competitive gymnastics. So I was, school and then, try to fit in my homework and then go to the gym and, train for hours and then squeeze in more homework when I'd get home. And I auditioned for one play in high school, but that was kind of the extent of it until I went to college. And that's where I decided to, uh, you know, I thought I was finished with gymnastics. I didn't know I was going to find this partnered acrobatics and kind of, you know, uh, I don't know, revive all of that flipping in me. But yeah, in college is when I got serious and uh, really started taking every theater, acting for camera class that I could, movement class. And then I decided to become a theater major and yeah, took everything, voice, Alexander technique, which is like a lot of this like movement thing. Yeah. And so, yeah, so college is when I became serious about it, but it was something that I always wanted to do since I was a kid. I just didn't until a little later.
Obviously, if you never took up acting, what other profession would you have took? Maybe a gymnastics coach, if that's what you love.
Yeah, and it's funny. I that is something that I have done. Like not like a gymnastics coach for, very serious gymnasts, but I've done sort of like entry level, for younger kids. I've definitely coached and taught gymnastics a couple of different times actually in my life. Even when I was in high school, my gym sometimes needed like a sub here and there on a Saturday morning for a kids class, and I would do that. And then even post college, I worked actually for years at a gym doing coaching gymnastics. So yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh, that's good. Bit of it interesting for everyone who didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever mentioned that before.
Oh well, there we go. Exclusive. All right. Let's move on to Halloween ends because I'm really excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
So first up, have you been a fan of the Halloween films in general?
So to be honest, I am somebody who gets scared pretty easily and kind of stays with me. So I actually didn't watch the original until much later in life. I didn't watch it as a kid or anything like that. But, obviously had an appreciation for what it is and, kind of its place in Hollywood history. And so, yeah. And then obviously after booking Halloween Ends, I watched some more, so I could kind of understand,
Yeah.
all of that. And then of course, being a part of the David Gordon Green trilogy, had to watch those, of course. And but no, I wouldn't say I was a fan previously, but of course everybody knows Halloween. And it's funny, I was thinking the other day, I was telling somebody this story about um, my dad building me like a fort. I used to call it a tree house, but it wasn't actually attached to a tree, but a fort on stilts. And he was building it for me when I was a kid, and he had his hammer hanging from a ladder a couple of like, feet above him, and it fell and hit him with the sharp part of the hammer in his head. And he started gushing blood immediately.
Oh.
And I think that was the moment I learned how to scream. Like if I hadn't done it previously, that is where my horror scream came from. I am pretty sure, because I screamed so loud that I'm sure the whole neighborhood heard me. And I had no idea that later in life it would be, paying off and I would be screaming, in films.
Well, you definitely put it to good use in that film, I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so Blumhouse has put new life into the Halloween films again after they previously were out. Obviously, they brought out 2000 Halloween Ends. How did you find out about the part of it?
Yeah, so I love this story. I love getting to tell this story, but I have always been a very proactive actor, and there are multiple websites that agents, managers, and also actors can access, but they can access them differently, if that makes any sense. And so there's a couple of websites, that I'm signed up for, that people will put their projects, they write what's called a breakdown, and that will give a little description of the project usually, and then it'll have descriptions of the characters that they need to cast. And from there, I was looking through one of those sites and I saw Nurse Deb come up, and the way they had her described, I just thought, oh, I can do that. I they had described they described her as being like a very like determined type of person, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do that, and this sounds really fun to play. And so I submitted myself, which that basically just means you're kind of clicking a button, and then you have, all your headshots, and you've got demo reels and things like that. And then you're selecting them, and they get submitted to the casting. And then the casting from there will, pick who they want to audition. So, maybe it's 100 people submitted, and they might audition maybe 20 people. And then from there, you get a call back. Potentially they might call, maybe 5 people the call back. And then the callback I got to do live over Zoom with David Gordon Green, and that was a blast. So basically, yeah, a lot of actors get work, through their agents and managers, and then some, in addition to getting those types of auditions, kind of do their own hustle and submit on the breakdowns that we have access to. Actors don't have access to all the auditions that come out there. Some are only, specifically sent to agents and managers on those casting sites. But Halloween Ends just so happened to be up on a site that I was able to see it and access it myself. And yeah, so I submitted myself.
And did you know how many people you had to beat for this part, by chance?
No, I
Or don't they tell you that?
No. I mean, the numbers I just gave you, they're just guesstimates. I have no idea. For all I know, 300 people submitted themselves, and
All right.
and maybe they auditioned 30. I have
You know
absolutely no idea. No, it's nothing. I mean, yeah, I feel like the only way you would be able to know those, stats would be like if you know the casting person.
All
So
right, okay.
yeah, but otherwise you have no idea as an actor.
Well, you beat them all, so be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, and it's an interesting process because like during the callbacks that were on Zoom, like I could see a couple of the other actresses that were scheduled at a similar time to me. Like we were in a like a waiting room together. So I if they had their camera on and they entered the waiting room, like I could see them, you know? And so, that's kind of interesting and you have to be careful not to like let it, get to you or anything like that and just, pretend you're the only one doing the role and that you're doing it right in that moment. And yeah, because it can be
Wow.
interesting in that way. Yeah.
It's interesting to actually like. Obviously, I'm asking you the questions, but it's interesting to like find out what actually goes on behind like the audition process and everything. So like everyone who's watching who like wants to be an actor, like it's interesting to find out like how you have to go through it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you for just for giving everyone a little insight in behind that.
Totally.
Right, you got to do like quite a few scenes with I want to pronounce this name, but I can never pronounce it right. Andy Murdichek, is that
Oh,
right?
I,
Is that how you pronounce it? I
I
can't.
it, I'm not great at pronouncing it myself.
um, what was it like working with her on set?
We did have, I want to say, we didn't have every scene together, but we did have a couple of days of scenes together. And one of our first, actually, our very first scene that we had together was maybe like the fourth day of shooting for the whole movie. So it was still, fairly fresh and new. And I felt like, both of us had a little bit of like, jitters getting into it. It's exciting. There was a lot of extras in this particular scene. And so I felt like that was sort of a nice, fun bonding moment for us. It was the bar scene, the Halloween party in the bar scene, and then Lindsay's the bartender, and that was the very first scene that Andy and I shot together.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and so it felt a little bit like, getting almost like thrown into it. And it just felt like we bonded in that moment a bit because, like I said, it was still, it was my first day and it was maybe her, maybe second day on the set. And yeah, but it was lovely working with her. We had a couple of fun scenes, of course, in the doctor's office. And one of the scenes, they actually let, I think, both of us improvise quite a
Brilliant.
bit. And it's the one in the movie. In the movie, they didn't show the whole thing because it would have been way too long. But in the movie, Dr. Mathis is walking behind me to go into his office, and I'm standing there talking to Andy, and she's talking about the promotion, that she's
Yeah.
wanting, and I'm telling her, and so anyway, they let me just kind of go off, and I just rambled as, Nurse Deb, and I just went on and on and on and on and on. And that was a really fun moment, just being playful with both of them, Andy and Michael, who plays Dr. Mathis. That was a lot of fun. And then, of course, the scene, which is probably my favorite scene, where we're in the doctor's office and I'm putting on the lipstick, and that one was just so fun. That was such a fun scene to film. I loved it. And so yeah, getting to share that with her was just, yeah, a blast.
Oh, God. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Right. On set, did David Gordon Green give you any advice, like in any of your scenes, like how to work a scene?
Oh yeah. Um, David's fantastic. I mean, he he is very hands-on. He loves collaborating with the actors, and he was so quick and on his feet. You know, he's watching everything on the monitors as it's being shot. And you know, sometimes if he has an idea or sees something that maybe could be, you know, tweaked, he immediately, you know, tells you. And he's the way that he directs is it's just so fun to work with. It's so playful and in the moment. And um you know, he makes everything feel just so raw and authentic, I feel like, with the way that he directs. And so, yeah, so it was a blast. I would say the scene that I was just referring to, you know, where Andy and I are in the doctor's office and I'm doing the lipstick and we have that whole scene. Um, that little bit, I had a little chunk that we kept, by chunk, I mean like it was like a paragraph, and we kept changing the sentences in it. So almost every take, I said different lines. And David would, you know, give a note to Andy, and so she would play, you know, her character a certain way, and then he'd give me a, you know, a completely different sentence to throw in. And so yeah, I think, I don't know how many different changes we made to that, but yeah, it was, it's really fun. It was really fun. He came up with some really fun one-liners and that were really funny. Like, you know, not everything makes the final cut of the movie, but you know, he was pulling literally from his own experiences in life and as a kid, and adding in sentences about it, like jokes and things. And so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I would love to work with him again. He's fantastic to work with.
Oh, David Gordon Green, if you're watching, there, get her in another film.
Yeah.
How many days were you like on set for shooting? Like overall, can you remember?
Yeah, so trying to remember. I think so. The way that I shot, they call it like a drop pickup. So basically, we filmed in Savannah, Georgia, and I went down there and shot for a couple of days. And then I had maybe like 2 weeks off, and they filmed other parts of the movie. And then I came back in and did all of the house scenes, all of the Dr. Mathis house scenes. So basically, we did the all the other scenes, the doctor office scenes, you know, together uh, those days. Then I had like 2 weeks off, and then I came back and finished and did a couple of days in the Dr. Mathis house.
Oh, all right. So for the casual Halloween fan, you just got a death scene, but to the hardcore Halloween fans, you actually got an iconic Michael Myers death scene from the original 1978 classic, where Bob gets stabbed against the wall and he's just looking. Um, how? What was your reaction to find out you were actually getting that iconic death from Michael Myers?
I mean, I seriously, I couldn't have asked for a better death scene. I mean, it was fantastic. So basically, when, you know, I first signed on to the movie, um, I actually did a Zoom with David Gordon Green to kind of like talk about a couple of things, and it was fun. Andy and Rowan were actually like having a rehearsal that day with him, and so I got to meet them briefly over the Zoom before heading to set. But he told me that day over Zoom about my death because, you know, the script was very hush hush. So at this point, had I been given? I can't remember if I'd been given my pages yet or not. I may have, but I kind of don't think so. But yeah, so I didn't know until he told me that moment over Zoom that it would be a callback to the original. Um and so that was super special. I mean, because I mean the original is so iconic, and then to have such a, you know, famous death scene that I feel like every Halloween and horror fan knows, was so cool. So it was super fun for me, and I just kind of took it and ran with it, and I felt like I made it my own. But enjoyed every moment of yeah, sort of not imitating, but getting to live out that scene, but in my own way with Nurse Deb.
Well, you pulled it off really well. I will say that.
Thank you. I mean, that that experience, I really don't know how much, if anything, in my acting career ever moving forward can match that experience. That night that we filmed the actual death
Oh,
scene,
oh,
being pushed up against the wall, was just, as an actor, just so fulfilling, just so fun. You know, you really just kind of give it your all. And uh, yeah, it is an experience that will stay with me forever. It was, yeah, it was great.
yeah, it sounds like an amazing time to be like working on like a film like that. I won't lie. Like if I could get myself into one of them films, I'd be well up for it.
They're a lot of fun to film for sure.
Right. Right. What was it like attending the red carpet at the big like premiere, like with all your
I
castmates?
mean,
What was
for
it like?
me, it felt like a dream come true. I feel like it's every actor's dream, or at least I would imagine it was my dream to be able to go, you know, be a part of a movie that was premiering at the, I forget exactly what they call it now, but used to be the Man's Chinese Theater, and you know, it's gone through multiple names. But yeah, just it's such an iconic space and theater, and you know, you have all of the, you know, the walk of fame with all the handprints and everything like right there in front of you. So to be a part of a movie that was premiering there was absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, I was right there. I mean, David and I took a picture on the carpet, and you know, I have Jamie Lee Curtis feet away from me, you know, killing it like the queen she is. And I got to see Andy there, and yeah, and Kyle Richards. We took a picture together, the three of us girls, and Rowan, who I absolutely adore. And so yeah, and then Dr. Mathis. And so it was absolutely incredible. And when we got in the theater, we weren't all sitting on the same row, but we were kind of like a couple of rows, you know, in vicinity of each other. So it was fun to kind of be able to like see them over there, and James Jude Courtney, you know, like he's walking up the stairs by me and everything, and you know, being able to say hey to everybody. It was just such a celebration, just so much fun. And the, oh my gosh, the screen was so big, and there were so many people in there. I think there was probably close to 3,000 people in that theater. And um yeah, it was really cool. Jamie Lee Curtis said some really awesome words, you know, because Halloween really impacted her career a lot, and she's so grateful for it. And so she had a speech that she did, and David Gordon Green did a speech, and so it was really fun being able to, you know, hear them talk, and then watch the movie on a big screen with a huge audience, and get to hear the huge audience, you know, laugh at Nurse Deb, you know, was just uh I love it. I love to make people laugh. So it was, yeah, it was fantastic. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Such a great experience.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the cast?
I do. Yeah, yeah. So Rowan and I are Instagram friends, and yeah, I feel like we probably, you know, keep up with each other the most through that. And then I mean, I also follow like James Jude Courtney. I see all the fun things he's doing as well. And then Michael, who played Dr. Mathis, um, we've kept in great contact. So he actually called me just maybe like 2 weeks ago. just to like check in and say hello. And
All right.
yeah, he occasionally does that here and there, and he's just such a sweet, wonderful person. In fact, I think it's been at least a year, maybe two, I can't remember, but yeah, shortly after Halloween Ends came out, it might have been the summer after, we met up in Atlanta. He was in town and we went and got some tacos, and he came over to my house and hung out with me and my parents. And then, you know, I've also met up with David Gordon Green when he was filming The Exorcist in Atlanta.
All right.
Yeah, and so yeah, I've tried to keep in touch. You know, I'd say with those guys primarily the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well, if you ever want to drop them a message and say, "Oh, look, there's this guy I've been interviewed," we just send them my way. Don't feel free to do so.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, look. That's it. That's all my questions done and dusted.
Oh, this went so fast.
I know. I know. I had to get rid of about 20 pages. So I would have kept
No,
you here for
sorry, I
hours.
can talk a lot.
No, it's fine. The more talking about. Look, I want to thank you so much for coming on here, just taking the time to shoot the breeze and talk about your time on Halloween Ends and your career and everything. It means a lot to me that people just do come on here to like just take the time to talk to me in general. But I just want to thank you again for coming on the channel and just chatting away.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I mean, it's truly an honor to be asked to have, to have people, interested in work that you've done and in your craft, and want to chat with you is such an honor. And so it's always a pleasure for me, and it was so lovely meeting you, and thanks for making the time and getting up early so that we could chat. We're in like very different time zones, but I'm so
No,
glad
you're welcome.
I'm so glad this worked out.
Yeah, me too. I've been looking forward to this for ages, so I'm glad we've like managed to get it sorted. So
Yeah.
so thank you again. So right, so I will let you go. I will let you enjoy the rest of your night, and I might go back to bed. So
Sounds good. Well, yeah, get some rest. Get some rest, and thanks again for having me.
yeah, if you ever want to come back on this channel, like and talk to me again, I'm more than willing. Like I'm more than happy to
Awesome.
have you back on here anytime.
Very cool.
So just feel free. Say, oh, and I want to come back on. More than happy to have you.
Fantastic. Who knows? Maybe I'll have another fun horror something to share with you. We'll see.
Yeah. If you've got anything like upcoming projects, you know where to find me. Message me and I'll have you back on and get the exclusive.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I love it. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, thank you again, and I will see you later.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Yay.
Oh.
I don't know how to leave.
All right. I'll end. Right. I'll end it then. I'll end it then. All right. Well, there we go. That was my full chat with Michele Dawson, who played Nurse Deb in Halloween Ends. Thank you, everyone, who has watched it. Oh, there she's gone. Thank you to everyone who's watched and who is going to watch it whenever you get a chance to watch this. As always, I'm Antwoord Movie Mania. Please leave your likes, your comments, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.